What's going on? We back again. I'm your host, AB, and this is Open Gym Podcast. Coming with you with some updates. Again, appreciate you guys stopping by. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, leave messages, whatever you need to do, just interact with us. We like to have fun here. I like to have fun here. I like you guys being here with me. So let's hop right into it. As we all know, the latest news today, the 76ers, they had practice down at the training facility. And guess who spoke to the media today? No other than the star big man of the 76ers, Joel Embiid. B. Nah, man. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen Joel Embiid since he went down with the displaced flap injury that he suffered in San Francisco when they played the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, man, he spoke for the first time today. So we're just gonna hop right into it. I got a couple videos here that we're gonna listen to and get the reaction to, get my reaction to. I want you guys to react to it as well. But before I head on there, we spoke about last night. I was on the Fanatics, the Fantastic Sports Show. I'm sorry, the Fantastic Sports Show with Jason Martinez and Breland here in Philadelphia on Fox 29. Down at the station, man, it was a great time. Had a great time talking about our local teams, the Phillies, the Eagles, the Sixers, all that. So I do appreciate them. Let me come down there. Speak my mind, speak my opinion on things, what I see when it comes to this team, all those things that come with it. So I had a great time with them. Shout out to them and Fox 29 for having me, man. So yeah, we're gonna hop right into it. So we all know Joel Embiid got injured. We all know leading up to the injury, there was all the talk about, the 65 game threshold, MVP. Can he make it through a season? And noticeably, even though we started off hot, him scoring 70 points, him averaging 33, 34, 35 points a game, leading the league in scoring once again. Assist averages up this year, rebound averages up this year. Literally the leading candidate for MVP once again was on pace to win back-to-back MVPs. So Embiid was at an all-world level of playing. Meanwhile, also as the games went along, the season went along, you started seeing a little more grabbing at the knee, a little more wincing when he jumping, turning this way, turning that way. Things that we seen before, and it was a little worrisome. Well, I know as a fan, and even as just a spectator of the sport, you seen that he was laboring out there at times. Uh, Come to find out, you hear that the reason why he was scoring 30 points within 3 quarters is like after the third quarter, it was just nothing. He just didn't have much left. And more so, not necessarily conditioning wise, even though we all know that was, issues at a time throughout the year. It was more so the knee. I think it was on the Pet Bev pod. He was saying he's never seen things like that before, where he's seen guys at halftime spraying numbing spray on his knee just for him to get through the third quarter. So this definitely was an issue that he was dealing with. But even though being who he is, he still pretty through. So I want to play this video first. And listen to what Joel Embiid said about him being hurt early on in the season, and what he thought about what his mindset was, and we'll take it from there. So let's see what Embiid got to say.
Really, 2 months, I was not, at 100%. I was not even bullshitting. I just felt the need of, like I always said, giving my all to the team, and just wanted to win, because I know I can add that to, this basketball team. So there's nothing different other than that. Like I always say, everything happens for a reason. This is the way I looked at it. It was very depressing, but the way I also look at it that's another way to work on myself, on my body, just get as healthy as possible.
There we go. There's Joel Embiid talking about for 3 months, 3 months, 2 to 3 months, he was dealing with this knee injury. He was trying to battle through it. So all this talk about, Joel Embiid, soft, uh, uh, only worried about himself, his stats, and other things like that. It's just like I never was a person who subscribed to that nature, especially just seeing how he play, how he does fight through injury. When we've had plenty of guys within this league who literally they get a hangnail and they're ready to sit down. So it's like that never was something I subscribed to as in being soft or didn't want to play or didn't want to be out there, or if he's hurt, he's not going to play. That's one thing I do admire about him, which as Sixers fans and in City of Philadelphia, we appreciate and we should love. So I never understood how people glossed over the fact of that matter, that even though he might have shortcomings in certain areas, playoff time, stuff like that, if he's able to go, he's going to go. And if he's going to try to give us. And we admire players even like the past, like the Allen Iversons, who well, I love one of the commercials that he had where they literally named every injury Allen Iverson has had over the years. And even that particular season, tailbone, finger, elbow, knee, ankle, toe, all those type of things. And even like a current player, even like a Bryce Harper, who after getting the surgery on his elbow comes the next year, knowing I wouldn't be able to throw, I'm going to do whatever I can. If I have to play first base, if I have to be the DH for a while, I want to be out there and play for my team. So that's something I feel like we need to start subscribing to and start believing in when it comes to Joel Embiid. Again, I understand everybody that Joel Embiid has his shortcomings. Joel Embiid need to get out of the second round. Joel Embiid need to show up in the playoffs, rather it being healthy or rather it being him just playing better, essentially like that. But overall, the notion of him, not wanting to play or being soft as a player never was a thing I subscribed to. And we shouldn't, as fans, and should start appreciating that we actually have a player here who wants to give up his body literally to for the team, and he stated that he just wanted to play for his team. He just wanted to give it all for his team. He knew what was at stake. He knew what type of team that he was coming into this year. He knew that, okay, I'm going into a season where Maxi's going to be essentially my number two. Tobias is still here. We have a host of new role players here. Obviously, the trade deadline was coming up during that time before he got injured. So obviously, that would be more players probably leaving out and coming in. So it's going to be a lot of fluctuation. So he knew at the end of the day, he is the key cog and he is the person that makes this engine, that makes this sport car go, essentially like that. So uh, Joel Embiid with me always have my respect, which is why he's one of my favorite players in Sixers history. I understand y'all about to go on down a list and name all these people. I know. I said for me, Allen Iverson, Joel Embiid, those are my top guys right now. But again, Joel Embiid soft? No. Joel Embiid not wanting to play? No. Joel Embiid gets hurt and just wants to sit out because he's afraid of what can happen? No. There was never nothing in him. He's always said it from day one. We just never wanted to listen because we're so upset or angry at the fact of, the failures. But the one thing we got to appreciate, we had a player here by the name of Ben Simmons. Dude, we forget? We had a player here by the name of Ben Simmons who literally to this day he's been a team removed and still isn't playing, or play one day but then be out for the next month. Oh, my back, my ankle, oh, my knee. And granted, the back situation you can't really disclose it or diagnose it, rather I should say, as far as injuries wise. So it's not much they can do. If you say your back, it is what it is. But come on, we all know. We all know. After a while, it was just him not just wanting to play. And to this day, even on the Brooklyn Nets, play one day, out for the next 3 weeks. So we've had players here that wouldn't commit to the team like we want them to commit to. But we have a player here now that, even though he has his shortcomings, he's still a top three player within this NBA when healthy, and he still is our best chances of winning an NBA championship. I love Maxi, I love Tobias, I love role players, all those things. But in NBA, we all know it's about stars, and stars win you championships. All right, so I have another video here as well. We're gonna hop into. I think this was Keith Pompey who was speaking with Joel Embiid as well about his return, the timeline to return. What's the I guess goals and things that the team want to reach. We're gonna hop into that. We're gonna talk about it and discuss it. Let's hear what he got.
Joe, are you going to come back this season?
That's the plan. Obviously, everything has to go right. As far as getting healthy and being as close as as I'm supposed to be. But yeah, that's the plan.
What's the timeline if everything goes right?
I mean, there's really no timeline. It all depends on. You can never tell how the body reacts, especially once you start ramping up. So, I mean, it all depends on how it feels, and if it feels great, then that's good. And if it doesn't feel like it's right, then you gotta keep going.
My question to you is, but why come back? I mean, you know what I mean? Like after injury like this, some people might say, you know what? Let me just rest up for next year.
The same reason why I was pushing the last couple of games. I just love playing basketball. I want to be on the floor as much as possible. I only have about 20 years to do this, so any chances that I get, I want to be on the floor. So it doesn't matter where we are. I don't know, 4, 5, 3, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It doesn't really matter where we are. Just want to play as much as we can and try to help us.
Has the injury influenced your decision about playing in Paris at the Olympics at all?
No, it's the same mindset. If I feel good, I'm playing. If it doesn't feel right, then gotta make those tough decisions. But the plan is the plan. Like I said, we don't know how long it's gonna take. If it takes longer than what the timeline is, as far as the games and the playoffs we have remaining, you gotta make those decisions. But yeah, it's all about.
How have you?
And that was Joel Embiid. And I believe again that was Keith Pompey, my guy down there, with the great questions, asking him. I mean, let's start on the first half of it. Like I said, the timeline, no timeline. But to me, that sounds like all indications is if he's ready to go, he's going to play, which is something I've always said. Uh, Going back to our last discussion about the injury situation, Joel Embiid has always displayed the fact that if he's healthy or healthy enough, or whatever ailment or whatever injury or whatever thing that's aching him is responding well, and he feels good about his play, he's going to play. So it was never a question about him coming back for me. For me, I know there's a lot of the things that was said as far as can he come back? Will he come back? Should he come back? All those things, like I understand, but knowing the history of Joel Embiid, he's going to come back and play if he's clear, obviously medically, and whatever injury is responding well. If he feels good enough, he's going to go out there and play. He said it all the time, and he said it again even within that interview. If he feels good, he's going to play. He loves the game of basketball. We have to understand basketball changed this man's life. Basketball changed this man's life. Coming from Africa, you know the Joel Embiid story, So if there's something like that that literally changed his life the way he has, meeting his now wife, having his son Arthur and everything, the way it is, he's not going to take any of these on any of these times for granted. He even mentioned it, like he only has, and I feel like it was a little jokingly as well too. Though I only have 20 years, 20 years to play this game, which is it's a little shot at how people say, oh, Joel Embiid only has about 2 to 3 years left to play. Joel Embiid needs to maximize this moment, which I always say, if he's going to feel good, if he feel like he can play, he's going to play. And if he can play at a high level, he will play. But again, that's his goal. If he feels good, he's going to play. And there was some great questions. A follow-up question, I believe, Keith Pompey even asked him, like, an injury like this, why come back? And I love the fact that he said, why come back? Because he actually wanted to, you know, get an explanation as to why would you come back. And like you said, other people had injuries like this. Kawhi Leonard sat out for 2 years with a knee injury. Kawhi Leonard sat out injury 2 years with a knee injury. So for him to be wanting to come back this soon, and I love that he answered it the way he did, that never impacted his train of thought. His train of thought was always, if I'm healthy, if my knee responds well, and I feel good, I'm going to play no matter if we the fifth seed, the sixth seed, or the play-in tournament. And I've always said, leading up to this point, I know the goal is to stay within the 1 through the 6 seed within this playoff bracketing, because we all know the team has been spiraling a little bit. But at the same time, we have Joel Embiid, who is the top, for me, top two player in the NBA, top two player in the NBA. You always will have a chance. And if you're telling me coming back from a full repaired knee, which it should be 100%. Now we're not talking about how his conditioning or rust or anything like that. We just talking about the knee itself. I don't think no one wants a surgery that when they've done the surgery, they telling you, oh, it was a success, but you're only 70%. No. So the knee obviously will be 100% healthy. That it never has been for some years now, and as we've seen. So if you're telling me he's going to be healthy enough to play, he said he's going to play, which I love because that gives the Sixers a chance. Now, the team itself, do they have to start, trying to get some wins? And when I was on the show, when I was on the fantastic sports show with Jason and Breland, they even said it where it was just like, if the team could be within that 500 range going down the stretch, I believe we got maybe under 30 games left over in the season. If the team could be within that 500 range, that would be feasible to stay within that 1 to 6 range of the seeding and not be in the playing tournament. But even if that is to happen, Joel Embiid will be back. The goal is to get him. Let me see. Yes, the goal is, and the team is optimistic, and I believe Wojciechowski said this on ESPN the other day, that the team is optimistic that by the end of March, if he's feeling all right, if things responding right, and the healing is going right, rehab is going right, that's when they want to try to get him on the court, start wrapping things up, getting some shots up, getting some practices and stuff like that, just to get him in the motion, in the mode, in the mood to get ready for the playoffs. We all know the team needs a lot of help right now. We all know that. Obviously, injuries going in and out of the lineup. Nick Batum, now Melton is out again as well. Won't play against the Hornets tomorrow. But again, Joel Embiid fixes a lot of issues. As of late, Buddy Hield not getting as many open shots. They're blitzing and doubling Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid makes all that easier. So I'll even take it a step further. Embiid coming back 75 to 80%. If you're talking about Joel Embiid averaging, say, 22 points, maybe at the max 25 points, and you still get the contributing effort defensively from the others, as we've seen over the years, growing from guys like KJ Martin, Kelly Oubre, even the young guy like a Ricky Council who's trying to fight his way into the rotation. D'Anthony Melton hopefully finally gets healthy again. He's defensively as well. You get your scoring from Tyrese Maxey and Buddy Hield with the shooting. This team can be formidable, and this team will be someone to reckon with within the playoffs because no one's going to think anything of it. We'll be underdogs. No one's going to think we're going to win anything. Joel Embiid is injured. We know how to stop everybody else. But again, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid. Joel Hans Embiid. So, again, what you heard, I like what I heard essentially. Uh, I like the plan that they have, and they made sure they was adamant about it. No timeline, no timeline, no timeline. Told her because I am an advocate of that too. Don't put that man out there unless he's 100% healthy. For the knee itself, because obviously conditioning other is that's other things. But unless he's 100% healthy, don't put the man out there and risk any further injury or anything else happening to him that can hinder future seasons down the line. But I do love the approach the team is taking. I do love the approach the team is going about this. I'm glad, happy, and ecstatic that once the injury happened, Joel Embiid opted to just have the surgery and finally get rid of this issue instead of uh, 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 sitting there trying to rehab once again and try to fight through a season and it hinder him. So I was so glad that that is, because not only this helps for this year possibly, but again in the future, like I said, a lot of money next year with the cap space. That's another situation that we can look to as well. Adding players, maybe getting another star and more role players, whatever that might be. That's down the line. But for this season alone, I never looked at it as a punting season. I never looked at it the Sixers forfeiting the season. I really do believe him and what he says. Whatever route this takes me, whatever route this team has to take, they're fully prepared and they're fully aware of what they have to do and the road they have to take to finally reach their goal. As that's a championship. He said it for the last 3 years. We all know they can't get out the second round. So that's, I guess, from a fan perspective, and I would think the organization as well, get past that second round and let's see where we go. Because I tell you one thing, man, if somehow this team can get Embiid back, start clicking, get rolling, and we see the other guys actually being better players as far as the role players, Maxi, and things of that nature, and add Joel Embiid, and he gives you who he is. Granted, I'm not going to say 100. I mean, if he comes out and dropping 70, then let's the hell go. You feel me? But again, if he gives you 20 to 25 points and you still get the contributing factors like like a Tyrese Maxey, like the Buddy Hill from shooting, the defensive efforts from everybody else, I really do believe in this team. I really do believe that this team can make some moves. I know there's a lot of naysayers out there that don't believe that actual notion of that, and it is more of a wait and see situation, and that's fine because I'm there as well. But obviously all seasons are different and things happen within the season. So, you have to, monitor and adjust your expectation levels when it comes to what is currently happening to you. So again, let's try to get into the playoffs. Let's get Joel Embiid healthy, and let's see where we go. And then one more thing, touching on the contributing role players. As far as production wise, we all know, as of late, like you said, Buddy Hill's been playing well. Tyrese Maxey's been playing well. Other players have been playing well, contributing for this team. But there's been one person that we all been talking about, Tobias Harris, where it's just like, Toby, what's going on? And we all love Tobias Harris. This isn't no shade. This is no hate against him. I don't dislike the guy, and I know fans don't dislike the guy. Yes, fans might not like the money aspect of how much he's being paid and how much he's contributing, but that's neither near there. I don't think anyone over here, if someone's just saying, say, here go $180 million, you wouldn't take it. Whether you felt like you earned it or not, you were not going to not take that money. So again, it's just who he is. We love him, but the production has not been there, especially as of late. Been really in the slump. I believe he's only been averaging about 10 points a game. Something that we've been missing. We've been in a lot of these games, even the last game against the Celtics. We've been in a lot of these games. We just needed that extra punch. Tyrese Maxey's trying to put the weight of the game on his shoulders. But it's a bit much. We're talking about a third or fourth year player, but he's doing what he can, and he's been spectacular. Essentially, the All-Star Tyrese Maxey, yes, been spectacular. So again, Tobias Harris, man, it's something that that has to be rectified and figured out. And it is a quote by Joel Embiid I want to put up here as well. Let you see, and I'll read it to you. So it says, Joel Embiid said he talked to Tobias Harris for almost an hour today to try to give him confidence. Said while he's out, he's going to be around the team and try to help any way he can. Where's the naysayers at? Where y'all at? Embiid's no leader. Embiid can't lead, man. Embiid need to grow up. Embiid is childish. I understand. Trust me, I understand. Early on in the years, year what 1 through 5, Embiid had immature moments, immature ways about him. We all know that. But I've always said, we talking about a kid here. Let the man grow. Let the man grow. We talking about 19, 20, 21, 22-year old. Everybody's not going to come in like Tyrese Maxey with the mindset of being like that, a constant professional. But even at that, Maxey admitted that when playing with guys like James Harden, that showed him how to be more of a professional. You know what I'm saying? Got guys here now like Kyle Lowry, who I know is in there trying to show how to be a professional. Guys that's not here anymore, like a Pat Bev, that's also talked to Maxey. So you gotta let the man grow. We talking about the weight of a team on a young man's shoulders. Everybody's not gonna come in and be LeBron from the get-go. You know? So these are things that I always felt like give the man a chance to grow. We all was 21, 22 before. Again, not absolving the play on the court, because you still got to go out there and produce and win. But to sit here and say he's not a leader, that he's not trying everything, doing everything, trying to be the best leader, best person for this team, it's said it right there. I bring it back up to you. He talked to Tobias Harris for almost an hour trying to give that man some confidence. Let him know he gonna have to play through it. He gonna have to push through it. Hopefully he gets, because we're gonna need him. I know everyone wants to get rid of Tobias. The trade deadline is over. All we got is to the offseason. We're going to need Tobias Harris. So for him to sit there and say he talked to him for an hour to try to give him as much confidence as possible, but then also that now they obviously he's a little more healthier now because we've seen he was at the Sixers game the other night with his son Arthur. Oh, where's that? But now that we see that he was at the game the other night with his son Arthur, he's gonna be around the team more. That's what leaders do. Although I can't get on the floor with you, I'm gonna try to instill some wisdom. I'm gonna try to show you what I'm seeing out there on the court. I'm gonna try to give you the confidence. Whatever I need to do to help this team until I'm able to get back and continue this while I'm back. Let's do what we have to do. So the naysayers about him not being a leader and stuff, like hopefully that squashes that situation to bed. And let's just see how this season transpires, how this season pans out. I know people have preconceived notions of what it should be or whatever, but let's just see how it plays out, because this will be the one situation where out of nowhere we actually make a move. Look at the Miami Heat from the play-in to the championship. Why that can't be us? Why that can't be the Sixers with way more talent and with a way better star? That's all I got to say, man, here today, man. I'm glad y'all here with me again, man. I appreciate y'all watching. Again, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, spread the word. Obviously, you got anything you want to voice, leave a message. Y'all see the number at the bottom of the screen. Leave a message, call and leave a message. Your disgruntledness, your optimism, whatever it is about the team or Eagles or any other sports topic you got. Just leave a message, 267-630-3828. I'm your boy AB. This is Open Gym Podcast, man. And until next time, people, we out of here. Yes, sir.